What are the impacts of the proposed lead and copper rule improvements? Drinking water expert Sandy Kutzing explains what water systems need to know about these new regulations. Check it out.
Under the lead and copper rule revisions, utilities had to identify and locate their lead service lines, but they had really honestly an infinity amount of time to do that. You just had to have a plan in place of how you were going to identify those materials. That could be as you do a meter replacement program that might take you 20 years or 50 years. And then you could just continue to identify. And then you had to have a plan in place to replace lead service lines only if you exceed the action level at your 90th percentile. Well, now that is all changed. Now, within 10 years of the rule being finalized, which we estimate to be, it'll be 3 years to be in compliance. So that if the rule gets finalized later this year, it'll be in compliance 2027, and then 10 years from that date, 2037. The draft rule is saying that all service lines need to be identified on both sides, and all lead service lines replaced in those 10 years. And so it's a major lift. It's a big, huge difference. Lead and copper rule revisions was more of a find as you go, maintain good water quality, and you could keep continuing to have lead service lines. Now you cannot. Now it is get them all out.
Are there any unique or particularly tricky challenges that utilities are facing with these proposed regulations?
Yeah, so we are seeing some repeat themes out there. A lot of utilities, we're as collectively as an industry still trying to figure out how to track master meter situations. So that's an example where you have a one-to-many relationship. And when you have a database that's rows and columns, it's really hard to track a one-to-many relationship. Another common theme is I think a lot of utilities are really surprised with the limitation on partials, and it's going to be very much a challenge to plan ahead and make sure you're avoiding partials. So when you have to go out there and perform a partial, providing the proper notification, the 45-day notice, trying to coordinate the customer side at the same time as your side, it's going to be a real challenge. So that's something working on those standard operating procedures. Same with disturbances. You have a water main break in an area where you have a number of unknowns. And now you're going out and handing out door hangers or flyers talking about flushing because the customer side is unknown. That's going to require a lot of planning and also just a lot of coordination with the field staff knowing exactly what needs to happen, what properties they have to go to, and how do they access that information. There's a little bit of relief. We got this extra time. There is a lot to do, and we definitely cannot wait because these structural and changes really need to happen now so that you're a pro at it by the time the requirements go into effect.
Make lead pipes a thing of the past with LeadCast, a management system for lead and copper rule programs built by water engineers. Visit trinex.io to check it out. Okay, back to Sandy. Do you have a nugget of advice that you'd give utilities as they're navigating this proposed rule?
My nugget would be not to wait until 2027 because the bipartisan infrastructure law, BIL funding, is available now, and we don't know what's going to happen after 2026 is the last year of that funding, which you can get a loan for 3 years, meaning in 2029, the funding is going to expire if nothing else changes. So if you start replacing in 2027 when it's required, and then you only have a couple of years to use that funding. So we recommend starting now, even if you don't know all the information. You can do test fits, you can do inspections, you can use machine learning in parallel with a replacement plan. But starting now, if you know you have lead service lines, to make use of that funding, because that money is out there and it is available, especially for any community, any system that has disadvantaged communities within their system. That's I think, my biggest piece of advice is really getting started now.
How do you collaborate across areas of expertise to get these projects done?
Last I checked, we had 993 people working on lead projects across the world. And we have our technical team, scientists and engineers. We have construction team and inspectors. We have now, I believe we're up to 6 or 7 full-time staff doing communications just on lead. So we have a wonderful team that's been putting out great materials. And then we also have our technology folks, so GIS folks and our Trinex folks and database experts. I love about our team is that because we have such a diverse team of experience, we're able to maximize people's strengths and pull the best of what people have to offer into these teams.
Sandy, it was so great talking with you today. Thank you so much for being here.
It's an absolute pleasure talking to you, Rachel, anytime.